Lagos branch of the African Action Congress has called on the State Commissioner of Police Hakeem Odumusu to focus on his statutory responsibility of dealing with criminals and not meddle in politics. This comes in the wake of a recent comment by the Lagos police boss that members of the indigenous people of Biafra are planning to attack soft targets in Lagos. In a statement issued on Tuesday, the party's publicity secretary, Elias Ozikwu, alleged that Odumusu's recent comment was to fuel hate among the Ipob agitators and Ududua Republic agitators. AAC described Odumusu as a puppet working for the ruling All Progressives Congress and plotting with political criminals to oppress peaceful protesters and other Nigerians demanding their rights. The statement partly read, "The Lagos branch of the African Action Congress is compelled to respond to the rabble-rousing remarks made by APC's puppet Hakeem Odumusu, who is installed as the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State with the principal aim of enforcing APC's anti-democratic police policies of repression and oppression. We have observed very closely the utter reluctance and cowardly attitude with the Hakeem Odumusu approaches real crime issues in Lagos State and how he readily jumps to his feet to respond to his master's calls to quell citizens who are exercising legitimate rights that are enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria." He says, "We are in utter consternation that in a state infested with hardened criminals who serially rob and execute a variety of other crimes daily against law-abiding citizens, Mr. Odumusu is curiously preoccupied with the very antithesis of the office he occupies, plotting with political criminals to execute their Mephistopheline schemes against indigenous people of Biafra Ipob, agitators for the Oduduwa and other civil rights movements and political groups who have committed no crime known to any Nigerian law to warrant the grand conspiracy being hatched by Odumusu and the mask-wearing criminals manipulating him. We must make it emphatically clear that a power-drunk Odumusu and his conference in the blood-soaked APC regime are without the competence to create a sordid ocean and then coerce everyone else to drown in it. The people have unfettered rights to explore other lawful and legitimate alternatives in their quest for survival. We therefore call on Hakeem Odumusu to summon some courage, grow beyond threatening and arresting unarmed peaceful protesters by confronting real criminals in Lagos State. We further call on Hakeem Odumusu to focus on his statutory duty of eradicating crime in Lagos State and desist from further meddling in politics." His speculative claim that Ipob plotted to attack soft spots in Lagos in a desperate bid to create a confrontation between Ipob and Ududua group is unacceptable and totally at variance with his job description. It is obvious that the Nigerian tyrant dictator Muhammadu Buhari and his blood-soaked APC regime may not have previously come across the saying that common problem unite victims. Dictator Buhari and his blood-soaked APC regime have vowed to exterminate every Nigerian through anti-people policies, and Boko Haram and the regime's victims have naturally united for a firm and coordinated resistance. Consequently, the AAC urges Nigerians to ignore the bukun spewed by a cowardly Hakeem Odumusu, whose only achievement since assuming office as Lagos State Commissioner of Police has been the harassment or illegally arrest of unarmed peaceful protesters across Lagos. We further urge Nigerians not to back down in their quest for justice and freedom from an evil and blood-shedding government. Hey, this AAC, they mean business, so they mean they mean APC badly. They are lending their voice also to the other Yoruba group. A united South, a shame to the North. their antics of dividing the South is no longer holding water. They think the great Yoruba nation, one of the most educated tribes in Africa, can be deceived. The same strategy they used to disjoint us during NSAS protests and failed. They have come out again with heavy lie against Ipob members who are agitating for Biafra nation before Mr. Bubu stained their name and signed them as terrorists. But Boko Haram boys are dining and whining with the government every day without being tampered with. You will see fail woefully on this one. Biafra and Oduduwa must stand. If any attack should be carried out in Lagos, hold Joe Igbokwe and Tinubu responsible. Okay, they want to join the clique, the gang of Desmond Elliot. The police commissioner should be held accountable of any attack in any part of Lagos. He and his team should be very careful. Fulani has failed woefully and they will continue to fail until Biafra is achieved. Southerners will succeed from the hands British and Fulani. Stay in your place and police go after criminals and not Ipob or Oduduwas. They are not the criminals. You cannot divide us again. Once the South unite, the end of Nigeria is imminent. Nonsense police. We Ipob have fight to do in our land. Why in Yoruba Lagos? Okay, why would they have to fight in Lagos? Because they themselves they have a stake. They are stakeholders as well. Mr. A do and go free. Mr. B, why Mr. B gets persecuted while trying to defend himself? Well, if the rate at which the sort IPOB is applied in the war against Boko Haram in Northeast would have been it would have been long forgotten. Don't mind political lies. Haram is coming. Boko Haram is coming with the suicide bombs attacks to take over Nigeria and give it to Fulani. This government has no truth in their mouth. Shameless government. They always looking for a way to protect their people and their evil acts. They are giving bandits and terrorists money, and you are chasing IPOB and Oduduwa agitators out there. Probably you don't understand or you don't know or it's a deliberate act to what you are doing. This is why they are busy wasting Nigeria time, energy and resources for nothing. They are wasting it for nothing. How do you justify that?